Thank you for pressing play. The content you're about to hear is all produced by The Coffee Show, a weekly radio program.
Welcome to The Coffee Show world of content. That guy over there is Randy.
Hi, and he's Keith.
Hi. The Coffee Show is a weekly radio program of extemporaneous comedy and great music that we have been doing for a very long time.
Since 1992, even.
Before our voices changed, all the rest of our worlds changed.
Keith, I'll tell you what hasn't changed, and that's that the whole time we've been on KGLT, which, if you're not familiar with it, is a non-commercial radio station. So as part of it, you won't hear advertisements, but you may hear us reference specific underwriters on the show.
That's right. They do the good work supporting that great nonprofit venture. You will hear us also reference the songs that were played on this week's show, but because of copyright issues, we will not be able to play those songs for you.
Yeah, we cut out all that content so you can focus on what's important, and that's, of course, our inane chatter. Without further ado, please enjoy this week's content, this week's issuance, these utterances.
Enjoy this week's extemporaneous offering. Please don't listen at 1.5.
Not for the weak, not for the meek, for the men in fedora hats. Randy and Keith, Wednesdays at 3, tune it in KGLT. Coffee Show fans apply. Coffee Show fans inside.
Have some leftover hot dogs, ladies and gentlemen, and all of our friends beyond the gender binary. It is sometime in the 3 o'clock hour here on KGLT, KGLZ, and KGLT.net, which means it is time for The Coffee Show with me and my friend Randy, who's still in his Uncle Sam costume with your stars and stripes top hat and big white beard that you always have.
I mean, Uncle Sam, he's always around, right? He's not strictly a 4th of July guy. He's just a representative of the United States kind of guy. So
yeah.
He's here to remind you that you should buy savings bonds today.
Normally he just points and says, "I want you," which seems a bit not cool in our current era of consent.
No, he just wants you to do things. He wants you to do all the things that he's too lazy to do. I want you to rake up the yard.
Oh, so he's my dad.
Yeah, and you said leftover hot dogs. It's funny because hot dogs can be leftover, but they're also made from leftovers.
Yeah, they're sort of a refried bean situation. They're a double leftover. You know, I don't really think of hot dogs as being like a thing I would ever eat.
No?
No, I don't like
a hot dog.
But it is a thing that happened, I assume, for a lot of our listeners on July 4th, Independence Day.
Is it because you're not a man of the people? You're above the riffraff? You're too good for a hot dog? Is that what it is?
I am born and raised in Montana, as you well know. I don't like a hot dog. I just want my caviar dog. I want a delicious pig intestine stuffed full of expensive caviar, finished in an ordinary way with mustard and relish and gold leaf, like any other salt of the earth person would enjoy.
That does sound salty, so yeah.
It's right. Very salty.
Yeah. Well, Keith, I hope you had a great 4th of July. I celebrate today, the 5th of July, the same way every year, and that's by picking up the debris from fireworks out in the yard that the neighbors lit off, and wishing that I had gotten to enjoy the fireworks rather than cleaning up after them. And then also, I spend it watching the movie 1777, the lesser-known musical.
And I spend the day working at the Trauma Therapy for Pets and American Veterans. It's a very weird overlap outlet. And then I also watched the sequel to the Independence Day movie from 1990, 1, 2, around there.
The original was 93, I think.
Yeah, not that dumb remake. I watched the Little Scene sequel the day after Independence Day, where President Bill Pullman goes fishing.
You are aware that they did do an Independence Day follow-up, right?
They did?
Oh, no, Keith.
There's a reboot. I'm familiar with the more recent reboot thing.
I mean, it's not really a reboot. It's a sequel.
Is it?
It's got the same characters. Yeah. It's got the same characters in it. Yeah, Bill Pullman is in that movie.
Okay, well, but I mean, this one was made, in my fiction, was made like right after. So Bill Pullman's still president. He's just bass fishing on the weekend. Jeff Goldblum has to do some tech support. The ghost of Randy Quaid shows up for some hilarious hijinks. He looks a lot like Slimer from the original Ghostbusters because he did in life.
Why not? They own the puppet, right?
He's got a mouthful of hot dogs. It's very attuned to the season. Is that not what the sequel was like of recent time?
Is Bill Pullman at least fishing in your version? Is he at least fishing using some sweet alien technology that we didn't have previously?
Nah, that dude's all spoons. That dude is all old school. Are you kidding me? You think President whatever his character name was, who I think of only as Bill Pullman because Bill Pullman rules, you think that guy's going to go out there with some type of weird heat-seeking ray that evaporates a lake and just leaves fish flopping around? It evaporates the water, and then his boat, like Wile E. Coyote, hangs in the air for a moment, then spanks down to the bottom of this mostly dry lake bed, and then he just walks out and starts putting fish in his creel, and and he's like, "Welcome to the lake, fish." No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's not.
No, I assume he does not use the alien technology to fish. I assume he's using those stinky marshmallow things that you get in the thing that looks like a jar.
Yes.
He's just using those. Those things will turn your stomach, unlike the food at program underwriter Whistle Pig Korean.
I think this is an important PSA moment you have stumbled upon. In my younger days, fishing with my dad, the thing I most wanted to put in my mouth, as like a teenager, not even as like an 8-year-old or 10-year-old, I'm talking like a full 15-year-old hormonal mess of a human being. The jar of the bright pink, quote, salmon flavored, unquote, marshmallows.
Yeah.
My junior Johnny Knoxville wanted so bad to know what those tasted like. like my junior Fear Factor, because that's the only thing I know Joe Rogan from. Has he ever done anything else? No.
Yeah, he did. He was on news radio.
Good. And a wonderful career, and I'm glad he retired at the top of his game. I wanted to eat those so bad. My dad had to keep stopping me. Also, there was a thing on the label saying not for human consumption, do not eat.
They should probably not put marshmallow on the front of that because it really triggers something in your brain, doesn't it?
Two things. One, why would I be feeding that to a thing I ultimately do want to eat? Two, where is my cereal with fish-flavored marshmallows? Where is my Unlucky Charms with pink salmon and...
blue fin tuna.
Yes. Yellow fin tuna, orange snapper. It's like red snapper, only a little bit old and not very good. Yeah.
Green seaweed. Where is that? It's in the dumpster on a folder filled with bad ideas from the General Mills Corporation, and the guy who submitted those ideas long since fired.
Long since fired and gone to sell his delicious fish-flavored marshmallows to the king underneath the sea, Neptune.
I've got a great idea for a savory marshmallow cereal. You're going to love this one.
You're going to love this one. It's going to make people thirsty at the bar so they drink more. Maybe I could market it to our friends at program underwriter Neptune's Brewery. And I want to congratulate our friends at Neptune's Brewery, who were nominated the best brewery of the year in the state of Montana.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. It's an honor just to be nominated, but it's a bigger honor to win.
Yes, at the Montana Brew Fest, where I assume people know are specifically there to talk about beer.
That's so cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, they weren't nominated best brewery at Steve's HO scale railroad function.
It's not like the Oscars where the big name usually wins, is it? And best local brew house goes to Coors Corporation.
Well, like the Oscars is a little bit of a popularity contest.
Yeah.
But unlike the Oscars, Will Smith will not come up and slap the beer out of your hand. Timely joke.
Yes, keep my beer out of your mouth.
The Allergies featuring Marietta Smith with the song Can't Keep Working This Hard. Before that, you heard Professor Elemental with his song Downside Up. And we started the coffee show this week with Wick Whitney and his new single Matcha. Wick is spelled W-I-C. You might know him from his comedy videos on TikTok and Instagram, as I do, but he turns out to be a pretty dope rapper and a great singer, and I love that song so much. He put it out a couple weeks ago, and it is super good.
I don't know him from Instagram, but I know him from hearing him here on the coffee show, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I like matcha, the tea. It's good.
And I do not care for it, but I don't care for most beverages that are like that, so it's fine.
Yeah, Randy doesn't care for most beverages, which is why we feed him intravenously with solids.
I have to eat a lot of foods that are supplemental liquids, right? So soups and watermelon. And my doctor keeps telling me I'm not getting enough program underwrite or Ghost Town coffee roasters.
Fortunately, I have not been suffering from too much blood in my caffeine system, thankfully, but Randy shows a distinct lack of it. It's good that you're going to get some liquids into your system, though, because I'm frankly tired of trying to cram whole candy bars into this feeding tube for you.
The last time I was at the doctor, they tried to draw some blood, and it basically just looked like the red Fun Dip in the syringe.
Just powder.
Yeah, just reddish powder. And they said, I don't think this is normal. And then I snuck out before they could come back.
Randy is a candy mummy. A lot of people don't know that. I'm sorry to break the news to everyone.
Yeah, it's me and Mr. Bones. We're very similar.
He looks like a movie Egyptian mummy, like a cheap Universal horror Egyptian mummy, only instead of bandages, he's wrapped in a fondant and then a layer of that crumbly, easily to melt rice paper that covers Botan rice candy.
What they do now is they just heat up Laffy Taffy until it's flexible, and then they wrap me with that.
What underneath are we protecting? Is it just bones? Are you just a skeleton? A comedy skeleton?
Oh, it's not about protection. I've requested this because of I just like to have something to eat once in a while.
Catbite with their rendition of Selena's Biddy Biddy Bom Bom. Before that, the Aquabats with the song Pajamas On. I honestly don't care if you never leave your house again, but I would exhort you to use more responsible online e-tailers. And we started that batch of ska songs off with the Scofflaws and their song about everyone's favorite Canadian turned American, William Shatner.
You could be like me, and you can wear your pajamas everywhere. Of course,
Yeah.
I sleep in Carhartts and dress shirts, so...
Yeah, Randy sleeps in a bow tie and white dress gloves.
Yeah, I just can't sleep unless my neck is constricted.
Yeah, everybody's different. The one thing my whole life I've never been able to understand is when you watch a movie and there's someone sleeping with their arm out from under their covers. Like, I am covers to my neck, seal me in, otherwise the monsters will get me. My whole life, I honestly cannot do it any other way.
If it's too hot, I have to have my arm out to cool down. It's sheer thermodynamics for me.
Any appendage out is immediately susceptible to monsters. I can't do it.
I'm hoping I get attacked by an ice monster. I feel so warm.
I absolutely support you in that. I see you. I wish I could do that, but I can't do that. My anxieties will
You're
not
not
allow
so
me.
abominable, snowman.
Where's Mr. Snow Miser, says Randy. Mr. Heat Miser just seems to be
Heat
hanging out
Miser.
a lot. Well, you need the other one.
That's me.
I mean, I like it 100 degrees, but that I understand I'm alone in that.
Too hot.
You do like it hot when you go to program underwriter Columbo's Pizza and Pasta. Because, you know, if you got like a cold pizza, you're not as happy.
I eat cold pizza. It's fine. It's just as good.
But yeah, but not at the start. You don't go and immediately get a
No,
cold
I
pizza
don't
right
request it at the restaurant. I'm not like, and put it in the freezer for 20 minutes. No, you're right. I was just there this week, put up some new high scores on the pinball table.
Nice.
Very proud of myself.
Froze some more pizza for later use.
I did. Well, yeah. I'm there. I'm picking up my pizzas for taking home and flash freezing so that they'll be just as fresh when they get cooked.
Randy has a backpack full of liquid nitrogen. Likes to really get those pizzas just super freezing.
It's unrelated to that food. It's just why are the Ghostbusters the only ones who can walk around with something really dangerous on their backs? Just because they're fictional? I don't buy that.
Back on the hot dog run, that is normally what a chemistry teacher demonstrates when they're doing a liquid nitrogen experiment is they have a thermos with a hot dog inside it, and then they take the hot dog out and it smashes like some type of disgusting blown glass hot dog because it's so frozen so completely and quickly.
And I will eat that hot dog. I'm fine with it.
I know you will.
I know it's been on the floor. It depends on what the floor is. If we're doing that at a subway terminal, I'm out.
I don't want hot dog rock candy. I just don't.
I'm fine with that. The hot dog rock candy, I would maybe try it. It's sweet, it's salty, it's greasy.
Randy has dreams of the big hot dog rock candy mountain.
I do.
Which makes me think of the ski movie from the 1980s, Hot Dog the Movie.
Full circle.
I have made this observation, as you know, as I assume the listeners know, I have now been living in Missoula for 6 years. And everyone from Missoula, when I mentioned I'm from Bozeman, immediately acts as if Bozeman are the villains from a 1980s ski movie.
Wow. Do they say that?
Yes, that is how they see Bozeman. They see
Wow,
Bozeman
okay.
like we are the snobs and they are the slobs, I guess. I say we in that, even though I've lived here for 6
You're not
years
from
now.
Bozeman anymore.
I guess not.
As the guy from Bozeman, I will steal your girl until the final race, at which point she will come back. But you'll always have that doubt in your mind of why she's being, your girlfriend. Is it just because you won the race? Once the glory of that race fades, will she seek greener pastures? You should question that. You should.
Yeah, will she be back to the guy who's financially secure? Or does she want to be with you, the guy who's interested in pursuing animation for a career?
Maybe she'll always be after whoever's winning the race at the local slopes. And she'll be like 60 years old and going after this hotshot 21-year-old guy who is just drinking beer in the hot tub after the race.
Say there, Chad.
It's her type. She has a type,
You did real good on the slopes there. Cough, cough, cough. She's got smoker's cough. That's the thing I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
she's from the 80s. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Though I will say everyone in Missoula is pretty much Charles DeMar III from Better Off Dead.
They all wearing top hats and fingerless gloves.
Snorting snow.
It makes sense. Speaking of which, Keith, I think you owe me $2.
I Can't Remember the Dream by They Might Be Giants. We started that batch of songs with the Decemberists and their tune 16 Military Wives, and Actor Doctor by Fishboy from his album Art Guards.
I don't remember the dreams that I have either. I'm kind of like that guy in Memento.
Oh.
Except I remember the stuff that happens when I'm awake. I just go to sleep and I don't remember dreaming.
He doesn't remember the actual things that happened to him, so you're not much like the guy from Memento at all, except for the fact...
I'm like him in that I tattoo myself all over my body reminders, like program underwriter Bozeman's Tattoo Alley, for example. It's just one big tattoo, really, and it just says, try to remember your dreams.
Oh, that's kind of nice, actually.
No, it's not nice because I don't remember my dreams.
Well, why would you get it as a tattoo? You're asleep. You can't look at your tattoo and enjoy it while you're unconscious.
No, but I can see it right before I go to sleep. That's when you should try, right? Is right beforehand.
Or right after. You wake up and you're like, and that dream's still like kind of half remembered.
Try, remember. I can't do it. It doesn't work that way.
I had a dream journal once to write down ideas for scripts that I had while I was sleeping. And I woke up in the middle of the night with an idea and I was like, this is great. And I wrote something in the journal and then like collapsed back to sleep and woke up, my usual time in the morning. And I got the journal so excited, like, oh yeah, what was that dream I had at like 2 a.m. that was so interesting? And I had literally written in the journal, boy meets girl and falls in love.
Wow, great job. To be fair, that's a lot of successful stories.
It really is, but it's the stuff that comes after that that's really the interesting part. Do they Romeo and Juliet themselves? Do they Wild at Heart themselves? There's a lot of options.
They meet each other and then they fall in love with other people and go about their lives, not even thinking much of each other.
Well, I'm happy to say I'm finally working on a script based on that premise I had in the dream 15 years ago. Where
you should have an opening kind of a subtitle at the beginning that says, this is all based on a dream.
Yeah.
People love that.
Instead of, like a Spike Lee joint or a Quentin Tarantino foot fetish, mine is going to say at the start, a Keith Suda dream.
Oh, nice. So that's good. It's nice of you to share your dream world with us, even if it's such a boring premise.
You know what? Notoriously, everyone loves hearing about someone else's dreams, right? That's a universal thing.
It depends. They can be interesting.
They're
usually.
never interesting.
No.
I had this dream that my Aunt Selma, you don't know my Aunt Selma anyway, she used to really like pickles. Anyway, she's like buying pickles at the store and then like Grimace is there and then he falls over and trips and he falls, but the floor is lava and then I like fall down like 14 stories and I land on top of this giant Totoro. Yet your dream, no matter how outlandish they are, your dreams are never good.
Well, it's kind of, stories are the same way, right? So I wouldn't mind reading Dune, but I don't want to hear our friends recounting of the events of Dune.
Well, that's just because our friends aren't as good of storytellers as Frank Herbert.
I mean, few are. There's a reason he was published, and all these other people aren't being published.
I have not. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So I'll stop telling you about Dune. Fine. You didn't have to call me out on the air.
Keith, you're no Frank Herbert. You're still alive.
You're really more of a Frank Sherbert, the guy who runs the ice cream truck.
Sick burn. That is a sick burn.
Chili.
You have the ice cream trucks that deliver those around have uneven wheels so that it can drive without rhythm, right?
Yes. I have a rebreather mask that just feeds ice cream up my nose. I get constant brain freeze.
Delicious.
But that's my eyes turn blue, and it's the only way I can fly the intergalactic ships from Dune to other places.
You gotta eat it faster. It's the slow sherbet that gives you the brain freeze.
Frank Herbert, more like Rank Herbert. That's what we're doing today on the coffee show.
That's not very kind.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing kind. All right.
Yeah, the coffee show, we're known for our kindnesses.
Oh, well, I guess as we go out this week, we should figure out one kind thing each to express at the end of this week's show.
Okay, about anything in particular?
No, I think we could do general
Just
kindness,
kindness.
right? If we're known
Okay,
for
sure.
it should just spring to mind, right?
Sure,
Okay.
yes.
Do you want to start, or do I have to?
No,
because I
I'd
sprung
prefer
it on
if you would start. I would prefer if you would start.
All right. Now, I assume not about each other as well is the other.
It's your kindness to issue, Keith. I won't guide you.
My kindness this week is thumbs up to everybody working in the food service industry. That is a super hard job. Y'all work a lot of hours, and a lot of people can be really, really picky about something that is like a really tough gig to do, from cooking to serving to cleaning. Y'all rock. And if people out there aren't tipping you minimum 20%, I don't want to hear about their dreams.
Wow. Your kindness had a dark turn at the end there.
No, it's a kindness to them and a unkindness to the people.
It's a double-edged
to the
kindness.
people who are insufficient tippers. Right. I swear to you, like after the pandemic time, I am so like locked in 20% minimum. And again, like y'all listeners live your own life and make your own decisions based on what your budget allows for you. All of that is good. I don't mean to say if you can't afford to tip generously that you're a bad person or anything like that. But like I was at a rather bougie coffee shop here in this town, and I watched a lady run the server through several different options of things from the pastry case, asking a lot of questions, get her coffee, get a pastry, and then tip $1 or roughly 8% of what she had spent.
It's better than some tips, but yeah, that's not.
Had to be actually restrained by my dark bride. Like Sarah had to tell.
Wow, you're the tip police?
Yes, I'm the tip police.
Wow.
I am behind you. I am watching you type in your PIN number, and I am judging you for how much you tip service people. Is that kindness? It got
your kindness had a dark
my kindness
turn.
got really
This is
unkind
crazy.
there. I'm sorry about that. I might need a lesson. Can you?
Well, Keith, it's funny because I actually tricked you.
Oh no,
I don't have a kindness. The coffee show is not about kindness, you idiot. I can't believe you fell for that. A fool. I can't believe your lunacy has been captured on this radio broadcast. This is great. I'm so pleased.
Outed is a kind person. Oh no, how will I ever live it down? Well, I think that is obviously the end of this week's show. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. If you like the coffee show, you can follow us online at Facebook. You can just search for Coffee Show. We're the ones with the coffee ring logo. And check us out online at places where you like podcasts and online videos. You can look for the Coffee Show world of content to experience other digital things we have to offer.
Keith, I apologize if that was too harsh. I do have a kindness, and that's that you're the best radio co-host I could possibly ask for. And I feel kind of bad, so I've subscribed you to a Hot Dog of the Month club.
Oh, yay. I can't wait to freeze them for later. And we'll be back next week when I say that he's Randy.
And he's Keith, and you only get one a month.
One hot dog?
Yeah, it's a Hot Dog of the Month club. You get one hot dog per month. Make it last, Keith. Make it last.
Snappy catchphrase. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Coffee Show World of Content. We want to say a very quick thanks to our good friend Jake Monin for our theme song, and let you know that all the incidental music in between is from our friends in the band The Ornery Jacks. Thank you so much to them for writing such great music. You can find all of their tunes and more on the internet. You know how to do that, but we've provided some links in the text description as well for you.
Yes, and I like subscribe notification.
I rang bell and left review and comment.
You sound like the Hunchback.
Well, this is my sanctuary, and also I have a constant ringing in my ears, so fair enough.